Quite interesting. Pretty. It's going to be a mid clockwork, by the way, as I believe that Nature's Prophet will be in the offlane. So this is quite interesting, and we'll see exactly who this clockwork is facing in the mid lane. I suspect it'll be Timbersaw, but we'll see exactly how they decide to place these lanes. Because I like I was saying, it's very versatile here for DB.
Mm. And I mean, you can, as you said, you can always throw that Timbersaw in that off lane. I mean, he works well. You have those level up Timber Chains, and you level up his reactive armor, and he won't die. He can just get out of any potential ganks. And to get the teams underway, we have Zykon Esports. Their captain will be being played on that anti-mage, Mr. Dragon. Then you have Kid and Mr. Polar Jr. They will be your supports on that Bane and Visage. Definitely agree, who formerly known as Blood Drunk is on that Clockwork. And finally, Eduardo will be on that Nature's Prophet.
Definitely on the side of DB, we do have their captain playing the Phantom Lancer is Niglet. We've got Cream Caramel on the Ruby. Ha He Ha is on the Troll Warlord. We've got Timsaw being played by the Master of Disaster, and last but not least, we've got China on that Nyx Assassin.
And so we see that Trent spotting out two heroes down bottom, so this might be a little bit strange. We'll have a 2-1-2 lineup as it looks, with Dulce running those two heroes down in bottom lane. I think they're going to have a little bit of a problem if they do decide to go up against this tri lane of Zykon, especially with the damage output from that Visage and Bane once they hit level 2, and Anti-Mage able to come in and just clean it up shortly after.
The Troll Warlord in mid isn't too bad in my opinion. I don't like the Nyx Assassin and Timbersaw double lane here in bottom, just because both of these heroes are very level dependent. You know, Timbersaw, he wants his levels as quickly as possible, same with Nyx Assassin. In fact, we do see Nyx Assassin rotating now, so it looks like he will be moving out of into the top lane, which I prefer much more. The Nyx Assassin in the top lane, they might be able to get a decent kill on the Nature's Prophet, but chances are it won't happen. I mean, Eduardo's usually plays it very, very safe. Just denies neutral camps with his treants and whatnot, and then just does some pulling as well. So he plays that very, very well and very, very safely.
And down on bottom we see counter ward instantly going out, so this Timbersaw is going to be blind, and they've got their favourite ward up in this lane, this aggressive lane ward, to watch where that Timbersaw does go. If he does move too far out of position, you will see the supports of Zykon. They'll come at him. They won't even give him a second to get into this lane to get any XP. And at the moment, he's already trying to walk around in the jungle and try and find whatever he can. And Mr. Polo Jr., they've found him. Kid, we might see a Nightmare come out and then a little bit of follow-up, or they're just going to chase him away. So it's going to be very hard for Master of Disaster to do anything down this bottom lane, especially against these two supports who just love to be aggressive and make sure you don't find anything in this lane whatsoever.
The thing Yeah, that's totally true, but the thing I don't like about this tri-lane from Zykon is that they don't have as much damage output as they would if they picked up something that wasn't an anti-mage, for example. Because anti-mage in those early levels, he doesn't have any burst. He has his, his passive mana break ability, which doesn't do enough damage, particularly since you have to, break the Bane's Nightmare and things like that. I don't think they're going to get kills on this Timbersaw, which, if they picked up something like that Luna, which they favor so much, Luna does the magic damage, it ignores the armor or the reactive armor of Timbersaw, which he doesn't have leveled yet. He's got the Timber Chain, but once he does, it ignores that armor, so it does deal that very quick damage, and you can follow up with a Soul Assumption. However, I feel like this, sure, I mean, the anti-mage here is going to be fine, it's going to be free to farm. However, I feel like if they did pick up something like a Luna or even a Juggernaut or something with a little bit of burst, they could have gotten some kills very early on. So I don't think this is... It's a bit strange, because I feel like these supports are going to start roaming very, very soon, since this anti-mage against the Timbersaw should be fine.
And as this game goes mid to late game, who do you think will have it? I mean, you have Phantom Lancer. He is one of the strongest heroes late game. You have Anti-Mage, who, if he can get that farm, is one of the strongest heroes in the late game. Do you think the illusions of Phantom Lancer will be able to take on an Anti-Mage once that Anti-Mage possibly... You usually see with that Battle Fury pickup. Do you think the Anti-Mage will be able to take this Phantom Lancer, or do you think the Phantom Lancer will have the edge later in the game, especially if that Troll Warlord's attack speed increase?
I feel like earlier on, this side of sort of to the mid to late-ish game, the side of Zykon have the advantage. As you said, that Battle Fury it completely destroys Phantom Lance's illusions. You know, it's a lot of damage that he would love to do, but without that, it does hurt him a lot. You know, Zykon don't have a lot of AoE at the same time though. You know, they don't. I guess they have Nature's Prophet's ulti and Anti-Mage's Battle Fury once he gets it up, but that's really it. And of course, if they're in a team fight and Troll Warlord gets, you know, the blinding axes, I forget what they're called, up, then, you know, a lot of that, the Anti-Mage won't be able to kill off those illusions as quickly or as efficiently. So I feel like they, you know, the side of Zykon have probably the early advantage, but as the game moves further out, as we see more team fights, I think DB might have it.
And Troll Lord's doing quite nice in the middle. He makes the Clockwork punish when he gets close. He throws out those whirling axes, and it just does a lot of damage, especially to melee heroes. And we've got a TP, actually, we might see the first blood coming out. We have Bane, he walks around, he hasn't yet thrown out his Nightmare, a little bit of miscommunication, there we go, Nightmare's being thrown out, we have the Clockwork, he pops his Rocket Brush, then the Soul Slasher comes through, and there is the first blood. Can Clockwork get out of the tower before the tower picks him off? One more auto attack, and there, no! Luckily enough, Irakid does take that final auto attack from the tower, and Blood Drunk does get on out of there on that Clockwork, so that's a nice first blood, but 4 heroes for the first blood. Do you think it's worth it?
Honestly, I think it is worth it, just because firstly they weren't going to kill anything in bottom. These supports, they want to give their other lanes a good early advantage, which, you know, killing a hero in mid, that certainly gives Clockwork a good advantage. What I would like to say is that the Blood Drunk here very, very wisely attacked his Bane to move off the aggression, which ended up not getting him killed. In fact, we might see another death here on the Troll, getting, oh, there it is. Clockwork, wow, that was actually very, very well played by him. For a second I thought he was in a bit of trouble when he cogs him in, but that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange for that Troll Lord. Yeah, that was a little bit strange for that Troll Lord to just come out of him there. And Blood Drunk, he's leveling his battery assault over anything. Usually you see and you expect a few rocket flares, so you don't expect that battery assault to do so much damage and so much annoyance in attack cancellations. And he just stood his ground and then just fought that Troll Lord couldn't do anything. So that's 2 early deaths of this Troll Lord. And he's only got a bottle, some branches, and a teleport to his name. And that's going to hurt later on in this game. I mean, he's 14 for 3 in mid lane, 2 deaths, and he's going to take a little bit longer to start getting going. But once he has that ultimate up, that ultimate will help him, even though he doesn't have too much damage. And down in bottom lane, actually, we see a Nightmare going out onto Master of Disaster. He's going to Timber Series chain out of there, throw out the Grave Shield. They're trying to keep him in place as long as possible. The Minor Burn's coming out. He goes flying through one more time. Do they have enough damage? They do. The Brain Sap comes flying through, and Master of Disaster is now gone.
Yeah, just playing a little bit over aggressive. You know, generally in an off lane, you don't want to move too far past the river, but yeah, he was very far out, particularly when they don't have any vision of, you know, that river, the supports. I believe they don't have any wards, no, they don't. So yeah, you know, he was a bit overextended there, and, you know, a great initiation here from the supports of Zykon, and a very quick kill for them.
And luckily for Dulce, they still do have this Phantom Lancer. He's doing quite nice up in this top lane. He's 26 for 5. And not as great as this Anti-Mage at the moment, but he's still doing quite well. He's up in the net worth with that Anti-Mage, and it seems like he's going to do quite well. I wouldn't be too surprised if once this Phantom Lancer hits level 6, that this top tier 1 tower will fall quite fast, as once those illusions start stacking up, you have the Rubik and his Fade Bolt to clean those creep waves out, that the tower won't be safe within the next 3 minutes, to put it quite bluntly. And we see a hookshot in mid lane onto the Troll Lord. Battery Assault comes out, and the Troll Lord, he can't go anywhere. He's going to throw out some whirling axes. He's got support from that Nyx Assassin. Nice Impale, keeping him alive. One more auto attack, it's not going to be enough. And now it does ward away that Clockwork. But there's a Rubik here. There's no teammates around to help him out there, so there's a little bit of miscommunication. He's going for the double damage. The auto attack does not get off in time. And now the Clockwork, he's picked up the double damage. He's turned it back around. He does find a kill onto the Rubik. And now the nice Cogs pushing away that Troll Lord. And the Troll Lord's going to be chasing. They have to be careful here. Clockwork is still bottling up. He's got double damage. He might want to turn around very shortly. However, nice stun coming out by that Nyx Assassin. Well, in Axis, they do find their first kill. Erakid here is now throwing around that Nightmare. Nyx Assassin takes it off for that Troll Lord to start walking away, and there's not going to be any follow initiation. So there will be a pick off for that Clockwork, but the Clockwork will fall shortly after. So that's a 1-for-1 trade. I feel as if that does go in the favour of Dulce, because they do pick off that Clockwork, who's doing quite well in mid lane.
Yeah, he also gives that troll wall a little bit of. I mean, was he the one who got the kill? Yes, it was. So it does give him a little bit more of that extra gold, which he sort of needed, particularly since he was sort of doing a little bit badly in this early game in the mid. You know, he got killed twice. Once by Blood by himself, and then the first blood obviously when the supports came to gank. So that's certainly, I feel like, as you were saying, did go into the favor of DB. However, he still has a long way to catch up to where he really should be. I mean, he's not too far behind in terms of net worth from the clock, but as a troll warlord, you need the gold farm much more than the clockwork. Clockwork is fine, it's just on levels alone, really.
And in mid lane, once again, Bloodtrunk's going for the kill onto the Nyx Assassin. His Battery Assault is doing a lot of damage, and he will find a kill. Nothing Troll Ward could do right there. He tried to help out his fellow teammate, but there's just too much damage. And at the same time, actually, we see a death on that Timbersaw. He got caught out of position. Nice Bane and the Visage to do a lot of damage. And the Mana Burn coming out from Anti-Mage was more than enough to secure any escape route opportunities that Timbersaw wanted to get out. And now, Clockwork, he will bottle up the Illusion Rune in top rune.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we see this Clockwork start roaming a little bit more now. You know, he's about to hit level 9. This top lane has not been contested at all. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see some, at the very least, attempted ganks here on the Phantom Lancer.
I wouldn't be too surprised if he does try and jump in onto. There we go. Actually, there we go. Hookshot straight in. Cogs are coming out. Rocket Barrage, and that's a dead Troll Ward. There's absolutely nothing you can do. Eduardo's Wrath of Nature does come through and pick off that kill, and that will help him out. He's got his Midas up and running. He's got a K to his name. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see Eduardo go for that early Shadow Blade to help his split pushing out. But once again, that's such a very strong Clockwork at the moment. There's nothing DB can do about it. I mean, if there's a hero left off the map or out of position, Bloodrunk, he'll come in and he'll make you pay. You just can't escape that Battery Assault.
Yeah, and we were saying earlier on, was 4 heroes really worth getting, like, the jump on mid? And I think we can see now that it certainly was. It did help Clockwork just ensure that that mid lane was essentially won from then on. Of course, that second kill for him did help a lot. But yeah, I mean, he's doing so well at the moment, and we should start seeing him roam more and set up some more kills around the map to help some of those other lanes. Probably the top lane more so than anything. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see some rotation into there soon. As you don't want that Phantom Lancer to get too much farm. I mean, yeah, you have the Anti-Mage, but you still have to be careful. Phantom Lancer is very, very strong.
And he's going on Eduardo here. He's doing a lot of damage. Throws out one of those lances, and Eduardo's basically already has the back. He used his TP to get up out of here. And Caramel, Cream Caramel takes a lot of damage. He's got to salve up. Anti-Mage is here. He's looking for that Rubik. Rubik's trying to hide in the forest. He's got no tangos. He's just stuck in it. He's going to lift. He gets hit by the Grave Chill. He's made an opening, but Anti-Mage, he should find the last hit very shortly. Never mind. He couldn't catch back up. And the Visage will pick off that kill. But at least the Phantom Lance gets out. And actually, mid lane, we see Clockwork. He finds a kill onto a very out of position Nyx Assassin. And there's just nothing Troll Lord could do about it. So that's 2 more kills going in favor of Zykon from very aggressive plays from their mid and top lanes.
Yeah, and that's the Nyx Assassin. He got pushed back by the cogs twice, which meant I believe he was still in range of that tower. He was, so he was taking tower hits as well as the damage from Clockwork and the Bane. And as a Nyx Assassin who's currently only level 5, that's not like,
and there's
nice
the hook shot, and there's just nothing Troll Lord can do about this. Every time Bloodrunk hookshots into a hero, they're going to fall. And he's got haste just to make it just that much more painful to get away from him. So, very nice play and roaming coming out by Bloodrunk. And DB, what can DB do to get back into this? How do you feel as if they can start capitalizing on their farm on this PL? Do you think they should start grouping up and try and find kills? Do you think they should continue farming up on this PL? Or do you think they should just sit back and let Zykon come to them?
This PL, in terms of net worth, he's still doing quite well. In terms of levels, he's up there. He's at level 8 with the Anti-Mage and the Nature's Prophet. Actually, hold it. Oh, no, for a second looks like we might have an engagement there, but nope, they're backing off. But yeah, the main problem is that their Rubik and Nyx Assassin are only level 5 and 4. Um, Nyx Assassin loves to do some ganks and whatnot with that Vendetta, but because he's only level 5, he can't do that. He can't set up any kills on these relatively fragile supports of Zykon. Rubik as well, there's nothing for him to steal because he can't. His lift is at level 2. A level 3 lift would be much more helpful, but same with the Fade Bolt, just extra damage and whatnot when they do decide to engage. So they need to, I think,
And
group up a little bit, try to set up kills here and there, just
nice
to
and pale
help the
comes down to
supports
Eduardo.
level a
Eduardo
bit.
takes a mana break to the face, and then a Lance will finish it off. Actually, Troll will pick up that kill. He desperately needs TP coming in from Bane. Bane does have a Fiend script up and available, so if he can find a hero, they might find a kill. However, you've got your Rubik's Lift, you have a Nyx Assassin with his stun, so either way you go, you will be able to stop that. But there's Blood Drunk here on this clockwork. He's waiting in the wings. If he jumps a hero, we could see maybe 1-2 heroes dying just for a trade of that clockwork, and that's not even to mention the follow-up support. But he's a little bit out of position. He has been spotted by the nice ward in this bush. They're coming around. We will see he's out of position. Vendetta's going to hit. Will they be able to see a stun? He doesn't have enough mana for stun. He's 20 mana short. Nice Cox pushing him out. 2 pushes, 3rd push, and then we see a rocket flare. Hookshot back in. Lands onto the Rubik. He gets the final attack. We have a TP support coming by Eduardo. Eduardo pops out that smoke. He's keeping his clockwork alive. They're going to start throwing out auto attacks. We have a Fiend script. Fiend script's been thrown out onto Niglet. Niglet's taking a lot of damage. Soul Assumption coming out. Rocket will find another kill for Blood Drunk. And there's 4 heroes dead on the side of DB.
Yeah, Blood Drunk, he's playing so well on this clockwork. That Cogs was absolutely amazing. It pushed Nyx up to the top, it separated the Rubik from the Troll a little bit, and he was just able to get those kills very, very quickly after that. He's way out leveling anyone from DB. He's currently almost level 12 actually. And the next highest is the Phantom Lancer on level 8 for DB. So, this is sort of what we were saying, Troll didn't do so well in that mid lane, got killed a few times. Top, the supports from DB. Now Nyx Assassin is level 6. We saw him pop Vendetta and try to initiate on that clock, but he didn't have the follow-up stun, which certainly hurt them. They might have been able to get the kill on the clockwork before he moved down the ramp and set up a nice Cogs. But yeah, this is what we're still talking about with DB. They need those levels. They need to try to find pickoffs when the heroes are by themselves. Because right now they can't teamfight at all. Zykon have taken a massive early advantage, and now DB have to be very, very safe.
And now we're getting a double stack for this anti-mage. His farm is just going up and up. He picked up his Battle Fury at 12-minute mark, which is a fast Battle Fury by all means. And now he's putting it to work. Nice stacking coming out from Zykon to give him as much farm as possible. They're sharing the jungle with that Nature's Prophet, who does have power treads up and running. He's got a Midas. And I'm a little bit surprised he didn't rush that Shadow Blade early on. That would have given you a lot more damage, and you could have split push a little bit more effectively, but they don't currently need it. Whirling Axe is doing a lot of damage to anti-mage down here on bottom, but it's not going to phase him. He'll turn around. He's got that support of the Bane, which also has a Fiend Script up and running. So if Hair comes out of position, which is almost, the Fiend Script's not going to be able to reach there in time. So if he just came up a little bit further, that would have been a death onto that Troll Ward. And the first tower of the game does fall, and DB, they desperately needed it.
Yeah, it's a great thing to pick up that first tower. Surprised Zykon didn't actually go for a tower earlier. I mean, they are 12 kills ahead. And their net worth currently on that anti-mage is 6.4k. They certainly probably could have taken a tower, especially since this Visage does have his level 6, does have those familiars. But, DB, they picked up the first tower, they're going to be happy with that. Zykon, I'm sure they're not too phased with that, they're still very much ahead. In fact, if you look at the gold graph, we do see that they're over 5k in terms of gold and about 10k in terms of experience, so massive leads in that regard.
And Blood Drunk, he was up in this top lane. He was looking to find a pick onto Niglet. He cancelled his hookshot multiple times, and then when he finally let it off, Niglet was nowhere to be seen. So he missed out on a possible kill on that Phantom Lancer there. I'm not quite sure if he would have been able to find it. He could have just jumped into his Doppelwalk and may have been able to get out of there. Because I don't think invisible targets can get hit by the Rocket Barrage, unless I'm mistaken. Or the Battery Assault.
I believe that's true.
And down on bottom lane we have this Nyx Assassin. He's been spotted out by the Sentry Ward. And there we go. Fiend Script pulled out from his side of the tower. Very aggressive. Anti-Mage comes in. Pops out Mana Break. They instantly find a kill. Rubik picks up a Fiend Script of his own. And now he's taken a lot of damage from the Familiars. Nice Fiend Script being thrown out to Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage taking a lot of damage. He will fall. So a nice pullback there. But they will lose multiple heroes for that. Anti-Mage buys back. He TPs down bottom. Timbersaw will get on out of there. So, 1 hero for 3 with a buyback on Anti-Mage. And now they're going to get this tier 1 tower down bottom.
Yeah, it was actually 1 hero for 4. The next assassin died as well there with the early Fiend's Grip from Bane. But yeah, this is going to be an easy tower for them to pick up. And that was an excellent engagement. That was a very well placed sentry ward as well, catching out that Nyx. And that certainly allowed them to gain that early advantage in that fight.
Because that Impale that Nyx offers, 3 or 4 heroes for 2 seconds is quite useful. It's also quite a lot of damage, but that is a little bit unfortunate that they had such a fantastic sentry placement by Zykon. They were ready for it, they wanted to fight, and now the net worth, it's all in favour of Zykon at the moment. Anti-Mage 7.2k. Nature's Prophet 6.4 and Clockwork 5.6, whereas the highest on DB is your Phantom Lance at 5.1 and your Troll, who was in mid lane, died quite a few times, now 3.8. So this is looking hard and harsh for DB at the moment.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, it's they picked up that first tower, but now they've lost one in bottom as well, and actually they lost the tower in mid. And now we do see that Bloodstrike is roaming the jungle here of DB, and once you have a Clockwork doing that, you know you're going to struggle. You know, once the Clockwork picks off or finds heroes like that Phantom Lancer. I keep saying Phantom Assassin, but he does have that smoke. So once he finds heroes like that my goodness. Once he finds heroes like the Phantom Lancer, he'll be able to jump in, and Phantom Lancer cannot get away. The cogs, as well as the dust, is just going to kill him. It's just going to kill him. The Phantom Lancer is quite fragile still, so only sitting at about a K total health. It does have a decent amount of armor, but it's not going to be enough to withstand the amount of damage that will come.
And once again, this poor Nyx Assassin, he started walking down this mid lane, walked into a sentry ward, and all the creeps are like, nope. So I mean, he does keep his life because that vendetta has been thrown out, but the sentry wards are placed in every spot on the map where that Nyx Assassin wants to be. So great sentry ward placement, and I feel as if China, he won't want to use this vendetta anymore aggressively. And if you can't use that vendetta aggressively, you're going to be using it defensively, and by the time you use it by then, your team's probably already dead because you won't be able to get into the middle of that fight. So all the sentry ward placements by Zykon is just, it's destroying any kind of aggression that DB want to throw out or any peaks they want to find around the map. And now they've grouped up as 5. Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury, he's got Boots, and the Nature's Prophet is just going to continue split pushing around the map, just being a general nuisance. And there we go. There's the final tier 1 tower going down on the side of DB. And we might even see a tier 2 start going very shortly.
Yeah, in the meantime, DB they've taken the mid tier 1 tower, which is a good trade. I mean, you know, they lost their top and they decided to go, you know what, we'll let it fall. There's not much we can do to defend it, but at the very least we'll try to take the mid one, which is a good choice. However, now they're going to lose a top tier 2 as well, which I feel like they probably should have tried to defend that instead of just letting,
and we have a TP actually. Eduardo, he's sitting in behind this tier 2 tower. Will he find the pick on this career? That he will, and that's insult to injury. So he does get out from the bottom lane from where DB used a 4-man smoke to come up behind him. They won't find the kill. They will lose a courier, but they find a tier 1 tower, but they lost a tier 2 tower. So in the end, Zykon coming out quite heavily advantaged there.
Yeah, that courier pickoff is quite a big deal as well. And yeah, you know, as I was saying, I feel like that DB probably should have tried to contest the top tier 2 instead of trying to go for Eduardo, who can relatively easily get out, particularly when the side of DB didn't have, I guess they could have stun locked him down before he got out, but yeah, I just feel like that tier 2 tower was not something they should have lost, at least not at that time.
And now we see a little bit of a group up from both sides. And mid vendetta has been popped, but there's a sentry ward already been shown down. The tower and the creeps will take that sentry ward out, but China, he's you can see him, he's got that very big hesitation to him. He doesn't want to get close because he knows that sentry wards are always raided. And there we go. Blink in. Auto attack. Nice cogs. And into the hook shot. We see the mana break being popping off that Rubik. 2 heroes are now dead. 3 heroes are dead. Anti-Mage is ripping through the DB. And there's 4 heroes dead. PL does get out. But 22-3. Mid-tier 3 tower is going to start working its way down. And this could also be Rax.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we see Anti-Mage, he just picked up his ultimate orbs as well, so he should be able to buy the Manta in just a second. Just needs to buy the recipe, and once he has that, you know, there's very little that DB can really do to try and come back. Anti-Mage with a Manta, well, he already has his Battle Fury. That's a lot of damage, particularly on towers as well. That not just the team fight. I mean, they've already got a massive damage in the team fight. But also in pushing potential, you know, you've got your Nature's Prophet's Treants, as well as those illusions, and just the insane amount of damage that Anti-Mage does already. It's DB is going to have to play very, very carefully, and it's going to be tough for them because Zykon now, they're just playing like as a group of 5 whenever they move too far out of the river. But, you know, we see Dragon there. He is going to just push out the creep wave to that tier 2, and he's just going to back off. He's not going to try to do any chip damage. Wow, gets a stack here from the Ancients, which is very nice for him, and there's nothing they can do. What do you think they can do against this Anti-Mage? It's just too far farmed, in my opinion.
And actually down the bottom lane, we see a Fiend script not quite up yet. 2 seconds, 1 second. They still got this vision on him. Can that Bane get in range? Bane does get in range, but hasn't thrown it out yet. He's waiting to find the real one, but the dust has popped, so he's not going to be able to find it. And they will get a tier 2 tower. I feel as if DB, they need to wait for Zykon to get out of position here. And then they're going for it at the moment. They have the advantage. They've got 5 heroes here against 3 heroes. You have your Clockwork. He's a little bit out of position. He's popped that Rocket Barrage. And now they're still going for that kill. They will find a kill into this Bane. And this is all they can do at the moment. I feel as if they just need to wait until Zykon make a wrong move. Because DB, they need to capitalize them. They need to stick together as 5. Even if you want that PL to start trying to get farm around on the map, you'll be picked off at any time. And we have TP coming from this Rubik. We see actually a nice blink out from that Rubik. Not going to be able to find that kill. And we see a nice blink. Hookshot in, finds that kill. Fantastic play coming by Bloodrunk. No way, you can't get out of there, Rubik, even with a blink. And he will just get taken straight back out, and then we'll make him pay. So that's a nice pick off by that Clockwork. But yeah, I feel as if DB, they just need to find Zykon out of position, or wait for them to just come too overly aggressive and then find those picks. Otherwise, they won't be able to get back into this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Actually, Timber's getting very unlucky there. If he had a little bit more money, actually probably would have gotten that kill on the Anti-Mage, which would have been huge for the side of DB. They really, yeah, pick off the Anti-Mage. Very, very good. Actually, we might see Eduardo fall. Ah, no vision. He's got that Shadow Blade. Survives on 40 health. But yeah, I mean, you know, the DB, as you were saying, they do need to sort of just wait for Zykon to make a mistake. The problem is that Zykon, they're going to play very, very defensively. I feel like they're going to go for a Roshan soon. In fact, Cream Caramel does go to scatter, but once they have that Aegis, you know, it's going to be hard to, like, even if they do make a mistake, that Anti-Mage is, wow. The Rubik just absolutely getting destroyed there by Eduardo. He does have that Desolator that was like 3-4 hits, and he dropped.
A little bit strange. He tried to throw down his own Sprout on top of the other Sprout, but Eduardo's Sprout still gives vision through each Sprout, so it's like, he still couldn't do anything. I'm not sure if, I don't think Rubik still had a blink ability on him, but Eduardo just makes him pay. And that's just the story of the game at the moment. Their mobility on the side of Zykon has just allowed him split push, find pickoffs, and just utilize the farm on the map to their potential. Especially this Anti-Mage, he's just walking around everywhere, picking off double stacks on their side, the opposition side, and he's just consistently just exponentially raising his farm. He's picked up a Vlad's, he's got his Manta Star, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, and that's lifesteal. That's a lot of extra damage coming out for you and your Nature's Prophet. That's just, it's very hard. Up top lane, we have a little initiation onto China. China takes a sole assumption. Wrath of Nature comes flying through. Not enough to pick off that Nyx assassin. And now Hahi's trying to kill off those familiars. Not going to be able to do it. We see a Lance coming out into Mr. Polo Jr. He's very tanky due to those armor stacks. And we see a fantastic hook shot coming in into those cogs. He's taking a lot of damage, but the Chakram's not doing enough. He will force stuff him out of there. He will find a kill onto the Phantom Lancer. Then the kill on the Troll Warlord. And now massive turnaround coming by Eduardo. He finds his triple kill. And now they're going to be looking for that Timbersaw. See if Timbersaw can get out of it. He doesn't have too much mana. And we see a hook shot just missing. He does have that Agnum Scepter, so it's on a 12-second cooldown. He's going to miss it. He's going to wait for it once again. And now Cream Caramel, he's in a lot of trouble. Clockwork's coming after him. Hookshot's up in 2, up in 1. GG's are called. And the first game of Group C will go to Zykon Esports Gaming.
Definitely, excellent plays by them. You know, we said earlier how they probably should have picked up the Luna. However, it didn't really matter. They went to rotate into mid, they got the kills on Troll, and then they started moving around and getting kills, you know, mainly in the mid and the bottom lane. They let the Phantom Lancer farm up, but they felt like their anti-mage was just going to snowball much harder, and they were right, and it paid out for them, and congratulations to Zykon on their first win for Group C.
And so we will be back.
We'll be back very shortly.
Sorry.
I'll let you do it.
Okay, we will be back very shortly. We will be jumping into the next available game. Most of the games did all roughly start at the same time, so we shouldn't be too long. I'd say within the next 10 minutes we should be into another game, ready to continue the Group C action of Amateur Weekend Cup September.